In this video, we will be looking at solving rational equations. Solving equations by clearing fractions. When we're adding fractions, we have to have a common denominator. So we'll multiply everything by x minus 3 over x minus 3. So we'll have x times x minus 3 over x minus 3 plus 1 over x minus 3 equals x minus 3 over x minus 3. These have the same denominator, so we can combine them. I'll go ahead and combine and multiply at the same time. So this is x squared minus 3x plus 1 over x minus 3 equals x minus 3 over x minus 3. Once we have the same denominator on both sides of the equation, we can multiply both sides of the equation by x minus 3, and those will cancel out. So coming over here, we have x squared minus 3x plus 1 is equal to x minus 3. Reminder that anytime you have an x squared in your equation, you must set it equal to 0. So x is equal to 2. When you have a fraction, you must go back to the original equation and make sure that you're not going to be dividing by 0. 2 minus 3 is not 0, so we're okay with this one. Just a quick check here to make sure that it works. X is 2. 2 plus 1 over 2 minus 3. 2 plus negative 1 equals 1. So it does work out. Another example here. Common denominator will be x. So we'll multiply through by x over x. And we will end up with x squared plus 2 over x equals 3x over x. Multiplying through top and bottom by x will cancel out. X squared plus 2 is equal to 3x. Setting it equal to 0. X squared minus, so x is equal to 2, or x is equal to 1. And going back to the original equation and making sure that we're not dividing by 0, we're okay. And let's check this. We'll check the first one. We'll check 2. 2 plus 2 over 2 is 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So that one works. And 1 plus 2 over 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. Both of these work and don't end up with division by 0. Now we're going to look at eliminating extraneous solutions. Let's work through the problem first, and then we'll talk about what that means. Starting off, we need a common denominator. To get a common denominator, we're going to factor this, and we'll get x and x, 3 and 1, x minus 1, and x minus 3, which coincidentally is what we have here. So basically what you need to do is multiply the numerator of the fraction by what's missing from the bottom. So this will be x minus 1 times 1 plus 2x times x minus 3. And there's nothing missing from this side, so we have 2. And all of this is over x minus 3 times x minus 1. Same denominator on each fraction, so we can multiply through and eliminate them. So this is the equation we come up with. Multiplying through, x minus 1 plus 2x squared minus 6x is equal to 2. 2x squared minus 6x plus x is minus 5x. Minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 is equal to 0. Factoring this, so x equals 3 or x equals negative 1/2. Now we have to go back and look and see x equals 3. If we put this back into the equation, we will end up with a division by 0. This is called an extraneous solution. We have to eliminate that as one of our choices. So the only answer is going to be x equals negative 1/2. One more example here. If we factor this, we'll have x and x plus 2. Again, the parts are there. So multiply the top by the missing parts. We have x minus 3 times x plus 2 plus 3 times x plus, and there's no missing parts there, so it's just plus 6 is equal to 0. Now we need to multiply this out. X squared plus 2x minus 3x minus 6 plus 3x plus 6 is equal to 0. Minus 3x and plus 3x minus 6 and plus 6x plus 6 gives us x squared plus 2x is equal to 0. Looks familiar. That's pure coincidence on this one. Factoring that, x and x plus 2 is equal to 0. So either x equals 0 or x equals negative 2. In this case, x equals 0 is extraneous. That will give us a division by 0, and negative 2 will give us 0 there. So in this case, there are no solutions because both of the possible solutions will give us a division by 0. The second part of this video will be dealing with some application problems. The first problem is how many liters of 20% alcohol solution should be added to 40 liters of a 50% alcohol solution to make a 30% solution. The hardest part about these equations, these problems, is setting up the equation. Once you know how to do that, it's pretty straightforward to solve it. Almost all of these problems will have two equations to set up. One equation will be the actual amount of the, in this case, liquid. The other equation will be the descriptive for the problem. So in this equation, our first one, we're dealing with a number of liters. So we don't know how many liters we're going to add to 40 liters to get another amount. That's our first equation. The second equation is going to be using the percents. We don't know how much of the 20% alcohol solution, so we're going to call that the x. 20% of x plus 40. Now the 40 liters is a 50% solution, and we want to ultimately make a 30% solution, which is our y. And those are the two equations. So look for two equations that you can set up. One will be the amount, and one will be more of a descriptor. Let's get rid of the decimals. Let's multiply everything through by 10 so that we'll get 2x plus 40 times 5 equals 3y. That's a little bit cleaner. We know that y equals x plus 40, so we will substitute in there 2x plus 200. 2x plus 200 is equal to 3x plus 120. Subtracting 3x, subtracting 200, we get negative, I need to move over to the side, negative x is equal to negative 80, so x equals 80. So now we need to go back to the original problem and ask and see what it's asking for. It's asking for how many liters of 20% alcohol solution should be added to 40 liters of 50% alcohol solution. So we're asking how many liters, and the answer is 80 liters. Be careful on this because the answer is not x equals 80. The answer is 80 liters. Try another one. Don wants to make 100 milliliters of 5% alcohol solution, mixing a quantity of 2% alcohol solution with a 7% alcohol solution. What are the quantities of each of the two solutions he has to use? Our first equation, we have two solutions that we're going to add together. It'll give us 100 milliliters. Then we're going to look at the percentages. The 100 milliliters is 5% alcohol. So 100 times 0.05. We have one of the solutions is a 2% and one is a 7%. Doesn't matter which one is the x and which one's the y. So 0.02x plus 0.07y is equal to 100 times 0.05. Now we'll multiply through by 100 and we get 2x is equal to 2x plus 7y is equal to 100 times 5. X plus y equals 100, so we can solve either for x or y. 2x plus 7, 100 minus x is equal to 500. Moving over to the side here, 2x plus 700 minus 7x is equal to 500. Negative 5x equals negative 200. So x is equal to 40. And in this case, it's asking for what quantities of the two solutions. So x plus y is equal to 100. So x is 40. Y would be 60. Again, looking for liters, milliliters. So we'd want 40 milliliters and 60 milliliters. One more, slightly different. The dimensions of the rectangle with minimum perimeter if its area is 300 square meters. Let's start off with, we have a rectangle. Looking at the perimeter, we have our x and y for the width. X times y is the area, and that's going to equal 300. Know that perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. In this case, 2x plus 2y is our perimeter. Using substitution, we can substitute in for either the x or the y. Know that x equals 300 divided by y. So I'll put in 2 times 300 divided by y plus 2y is equal to p, and I could have done that with the x just the same, doesn't matter. Now comes the beauty of the calculator. We just put that into the calculator and we're going to find the minimum. I have 2 times 300 divided by x plus 2x. I'm going to graph it. When I graph it in the standard screen, I get nothing. So we need to figure out how to find it within our window. Know that the perimeter of the area is 300, so that the x and the y have to be less than 300. Sorry, that was the area was 300. So I'm going to put in 300 for my x, 300 for the y. Oh, there we go. Now we can find our minimum, and we get the minimum. So let's interpret this now. The minimum area is 69.28, and it occurs when x is 17.32. X was the length of one of the sides. The question is now, what is the perimeter? So now we have to go back to the problem, and the perimeter was 2 times 17.32 plus 2 times 300 divided by 17.32. That will give us the least perimeter. If you put it into your calculators, you'll find that it is approximately 69.28 meters. And now, just for fun, the volume of a pizza. Pi times the radius times the depth. Pizza. See you in class.